What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Simulation for the Nation here, and welcome back to the Mega Farm. We are coming to you live from Chellington Valley. This is the daily server series we have going with my channel members, and of course, if you want to join in, you can do so by just hitting that join button, becoming a dedicated member, and we'll get you onto the server as quickly as possible. But first and foremost, we have all been very busy on here this last few days. We are currently on day 7 of winter, as you can see, so late winter, which means winter has been a selling season, and boy have we been cracking along with that. Farm 1, I know, has been selling off water, had a lot of milk to sell and an awful lot of straw and silage, of which has all been going on there. Now, you may have seen in the last episode, we did implement a new BGA system, so both farms can sell at a much reduced price. Make it that little bit more realistic, really, including muck as well. Muck you can now sell there, but again the price is very low, but at least you're getting something for it. What we're doing today is selling off some hay, trying to make a tidy up a bit of a mess here. Let's just shut that one out of the way, and we don't need all this hay. We've still got a full bay down at farm 1, so we're going to get rid of probably about half of this, if not a bit more, and then we'll get a little bit more money from there. Now, today's episode is going to be something a little bit different. We're going to look to kind of take a bit of a financial review of our of the two businesses, see the stats, see how they've all been done, and we'll see how we get going there. Oh, Drew is asking me a question. Yeah, so we're going to kind of have a look through it, see which farm has been the most financially savvy, which one has progressed the most, who has the largest number of animals, who has the most machinery, land, etc, etc there. So there's gonna be some interesting stats there, I'm sure, and I can't wait to kind of have a dive into it. What we're doing today, like I say, is just kind of cracking on selling a little bit. Farm 1 has seen a little bit of an update. We have increased our livestock numbers now, and also our sheep and dairy cattle have both increased. Beef cattle we might look to do at some point soon, we're just not quite there yet, but we have increased our head of our numbers of dairy cattle by about 70 so far. We're now sitting at just over 285 dairy cattle. We're sitting at around about 121 beef cattle still, but that number will increase when we get the bull cows from bull calf, sorry, from the calving this year. They'll head on up to Valley View as well. Calving is ticking along steadily now. We are in kind of our full flight, which is awesome to see. So that number should steadily increase. Our sheep, we have bought in another, I believe it's like another 70. Let me have a look, see here. So yeah, as you can see, 287 has been 2 more calves born since I was on this morning there, which is good. Sheep are at 291 as well. I feel like they may be starting to lamb at the moment there. That number seems to be ticking on up nicely. And so 121, that number won't change. This is all just our beef cattle here, so any of the bull calves born here will get transferred on up. And then once we get all the calving done, we'll see what we're looking like and see how many more we can potentially bring in. Because at the moment, the main reason behind this decision was the amount of fodder that we have. It's an astronomical amount of silage. And bearing in mind, we're about to hit spring where we'll be making some more grass silage. You know, the numbers were insane. So that's what that's where our thinking is at. We've still got a little bit of silage left to sell in one pit. I had a little bit of a hiccup with the silage pit there, so we're just waiting to see. But yeah, we'll be getting on into that one very shortly as well. But yeah, just going to sell a few more bales off here. And we're looking at all of our grain is gone. We sold 250 tons of barley. The only grain that we've kept is the soya beans because we're not selling that off. We'll keep that for our silo and for our diet feeding, really. But everything else is gone. All the milk is gone. We have produced a little bit more milk though since. So as you can see, look at our cows. They do produce a healthy amount of milk every day. Now Drew is currently working on the livestock there, so we'll see that will increase. We are thinking that, you know, we've got 2 telehandlers. It's not quite enough, but can you believe it? We're seeing that we're stretched across 2 farms right now, especially having the BGA at one of the farms there does make you think that we do need to figure something out there. Oh, come back. Let's get our load up there. Maybe look at getting something a bit more handy when it comes to loading up the BGA with a larger capacity, a bit more weight to it. Maybe that could be a good option. Forward we go. We'll drop you off there. Lovely stuff. But yeah, this is all surplus hay really. We cleared this shed out last winter. We baled a whole lot more up. You can see this has been stacked with the chaser because it is so high. We typically wouldn't stack it that high with just with the forklift, but yeah, ultimately we probably need about 15 bales or so just to kind of see us over there. It's mainly just for the sheep. You know, the sheep numbers are going up, not going up that quickly, so We'll get rid of most of this. It's a nice little income as well. Good time to sell the bales off. Mostly all of the straw's gone. We made a good little amount of money off the straw, which is fantastic. And we're just going to continue selling a little bit more of this here and now. We've got some more straw to sell as well, but I just thought we'll get through some of the hay. Ideally, we want to get rid of all the bales that we're going to sell want to be done today or before the end of winter there, because that's when our best price is at. And we'll start to see a bit of a change up after that time. So I hope you're all doing very well. Do let me know down below what's going on, how you are, if you're in Chellington Valley, what you're looking like and where you're working, what you're driving there. Big thank you to everyone who has continued to support the channel as well. It's great to see. The server here, as we're doing this review, is around about, it's only a few, I think we're only about 20 or 30 hours short of 900 hours on the server, which is just incredible. Numbers skyrocketing at the moment. It's really going well. Just kick you around here. Goodbye, Bill. Missed it. Try that again. No. No. Let's go. There you go. And away. There we go. I think what we'll do is we're just going to show you what this straw shed looks like. Whitehall for us is very much just a storage yard. Combines are tucked away in that shed in the winter, and then we have a bit of machinery kept up here, but usually as well it's just used for storing bales and maybe a little bit of bulk cereal crops as well if they get tipped off the floor. That's pretty much it for the most part there. It really is. So what we'll find is as we creep around here, this big shed on our right is always been full of straw. Does this one even have anything in it these days? No. Quite often we'll have the lorry in there and the trailers, but at the moment that's not so much the case. Still a fair bit of snow on the floor though. Hopefully that's going to disappear. You'll see that it's looking like familiar territory as well for these soil temperatures. That's not going to change anytime soon, which means that we'll be late getting on into the spring groundwork as well. It's still very frozen, which is why we opted for having very little in the ground in terms of our cropping. So we'll see how we get on there. Now, I'm going to leave a few of these just so we have a little bit of extra storage or a little bit of extra straw in case we need it for the cattle. We've still got plenty down at Chellington, but you never know. Never want to run out, that's for sure. And we'll just swing this around the corner. And away we go. So, see how much we get for these. So it's 900 plus roughly for each bale of hay. And what's that going to be? Just under, well, about 665, 70 pounds per bale, which is nowhere near as good, obviously, but we have sold quite a lot, so we probably hammered down the price of straw quite a fair bit, I would say. But hey, it's all money coming in at the end of the day. It's better than it just kind of sitting here in the shed, not doing a great deal, I suppose. Take this one away, and then I think what we'll do is we'll just take these two. That's a nice little bit of a boost up, and then we'll go and take this back on over to Ravenwood where the BJ is at. We've got some work to go and do over there, and we can get cracking. That is a weird collision. We can't get that field grass seed. I can't get up, unfortunately. Seems to be kind of stuck there. That's a little bit of money we've lost there. However, we will see. Alright, so we'll drop this one in, and then we're going to take on the what is only about a 5-minute road trip. There you go. Wonderful stuff. All right then. Lights on. The forward direction typically does help, but there we go. Alright, so let's get ourselves away here. So like I say, this is the third, if memory serves, this is the third winter on Chellington Valley here on the Deddy server. So it's a sufficient time for farms to get up and working there, to get stabilized, to expand, and to really get settled into it. So I think we've really been able to see that. We are in certainly Farm 1's from their perspective. We shot off to a good start, and then we made some good decisions early, and we were able to expand rapidly and make a lot of money off those decisions. Farm 2 took a little bit longer to get going. When they did though, they were trying to expand very quickly, so didn't have too much money for the first year and a half or so, but now they've really kind of got stable. Now they're starting to see a return from the dairy herd as well, which is really starting to pay off big for them and pay off big dividends. So that's really, really good to see from that perspective. There's been a very interesting, almost a difference in approach and investment there as well, in terms of how, like, Farm 1 has a strategy of every other year alternating between purchase of machinery, and then the other year, the next year up, we'll be doing land and animals there, which is the cycle that we're in right now. Farm 2 are just stabilizing, so I'll be curious to see where they go with their approach. Certainly from a land perspective, Farm 1 is a lot more heavily arable based. Farm 2 is much more grassland based. So again, it's going to be curious to see what those statistics look like and how they pay off. Because of the massive amount of forage and fodder that Farm 1 have been able to produce there, this year we're actually not drilling any maize at all, or we're going to have a little bit reduced grassland as well there. It's all going into arable, into cash crops as well, such as your field grass, your oats, your oilseed rape where possible there, just to try and get as much of it as we can. Because yeah, we might as well make the land work for us during these times. And so yeah, we'll see what that looks like. I've gone to the wrong yard, I've just realized. Oh well. So what we're going to do, we're going to pull up at Ravenwood, where we'll break out the stats and have a look see. So drop in the comments down below if you haven't done so already. Do hit the like button first of all. But if you haven't done so, do make sure you put in the comments below your projections as to which farms we're going to do best. And then we're going to have a look through all the different categories there and see how it all looks. So I'm excited to see this breakdown here. Actually, I'm going to have a look into it and do a bit of a side-by-side comparison here, which should be pretty good to see. We'll get going with this one, and we'll come back to you with a bit of an update as soon as we get up to Ravenwood. All right, and so we have just made it up to Ravenwood here. This is our silage pit that's ready to go. It actually got recovered, but it's all fermented, ready to go there now. Drew's around the corner, just tipping the load. He is going to get out, and there's our BJ. If you haven't seen it already, we have got this in stock. So he's bringing the muck up here. We're just getting rid of it now because we've got plenty out in the fields at the moment there, so we should be good for now. And we'll see how that goes. But yeah, let's have a look into the statistics for Farm 1 and Farm 2, shall we? And see how it's all coming together. So this is what we all kind of been looking forward to, and we'll see how it looks. There goes Drew, cracking along. So first thing we're going to have a look into here are the animals, and as you can see, we are currently looking at 287 cows at Chellington Valley there, and 121 at Valley View Farm, which brings you together, if my maths are correct here, we are looking at 408 cattle altogether. That number's gone up 2 more since before, I'm sure of it. So that's 408 cattle altogether here is not a bad market at all. And if you look in comparison here over at Autumn Wood Farm, this is the farms for Farm 2, of course. Here you're looking at a total of 318 cattle at Autumn Wood. Old Oak Farm there is currently sitting at 102, which brings you up to a total of 420. So they are marginally ahead there. Not by much, but yeah, it is tighter. Currently sitting at 100 sheep over at Old Oak Farm there as well. Still some options for... Now, Pine Creek Farm is actually supposed to be on Farm 1. That's going to be changed soon as part of the items XML. We're going to have a look into that one. And crucially, as you can see here, from a sheep standpoint, we are... Farm 1 is crushing it, actually. Looking at... what have we got there? 292 at Chellington Valley versus... 212 over at Ravenwood there. So again, more quick math, 504 sheep in total over 102 at Farm 1. So that's another big win for the sheep there for Farm 1. Trying to keep the bias out of here, by the way. It's not very easy, but we're trying. So yeah, lots of room for improvement there with the sheep for Farm 2. I do realize I've been speaking with them recently. They do find that the sheep is a lot of work, so maybe that's why they're not going down that route, but it's all pretty good anyway. Elsewhere, it's now time to have a look into some of the regular stats. So we'll come on into the dollar sign in here. So we can see kind of what we're looking like across the board for expenditure. Now, we are currently sitting here with Farm 2, so 1.44 million at the moment there, which is rather sizable. And it's looking pretty impressive. What we're going to have a look through, we've got a lot of you can see where our main income's coming from here. There's a lot of harvest income for Farm 2 there, and the BGA recently as well is starting to look good. But yeah, harvest income is looking really good. Our milk sold is colossal, 327,000, which is incredible there. Really is an astronomical amount. So that's a really great opportunity there for us. Now, as we have a look at Farm 2 here, you'll see they are currently sitting in a lot better position here, 1.5 million, about a $60,000 increase. It should be pounds, but for some reason my game save is still in the dollars. They've been building a few new things, 120,000 spent on construction recently. They've been buying a lot of equipment in those. You can see a lot of red purchases coming here. I know a few new tractors. Interesting to see though, they have been spending a lot of money on some new more livestock investment as well. That's a herd of dairy cattle. So that's really going to be a long-term investment for them, which will turn out good, no doubt. They've been selling a lot of wood. They cut down a forest, which is a £200,000 investment there. That's worked out really well. Milk sales, again, always proven profitable. You can see there, that's a phenomenal amount of milk across a 3-day spread. Really fantastic to see. So that's looking very like it's going to be a big benefit to them. Harvest income as well. They had a lot of oilseed rape and they sold some, I think it was barley as well. Biogas income, they're starting to see a nice healthy return there as well. Now we are only allowed to sell one silage pit of silage or fodder. So after that, you got to be a little bit careful as to how the income and where that income's going to come from. So we'll have to watch this space. Interestingly, they have taken on a few contracts. Farm 1 haven't done that for a while, so it's nice to see that someone's taking advantage of them, and that is working out. Thursday was a monster day for revenue. That really did bring them back into the game there. Nearly 600 grand income there, coming across a few different facets. Mainly the milk sale and the forestry there was a big one. So they've done really well there to see. Vehicle running costs have been quite expensive though. Animal upkeep next to nothing. No, we'd love to see that. So that's a really nice thing to see. So ultimately, I would say we're looking like Farm 1 have seen a nice solid income from harvest there. Farm 2 are seeing an even better income from the BGA at the moment and from the forestry. Great step up from them. It took a lot of work to knock down that forest and to actually get it to the sell point there, but they've seen a really big boost from that. No doubt Thursday in game here was a big day for them. The rest of the days are kind of staggering along there around an average, apart from a nice healthy milk sale there on the Friday. Everything else seems to be very much incoming. They've sold quite a few bits of gear as well, got some money back there, which is always nice to see. I know they did have a few new bits of equipment to buy as well, so that likely contributed there as well there. But otherwise, looking pretty good to see indeed. As we come back along, just to double check here, our livestock sales yesterday went up a lot there because we did spend a lot of money on the new cattle and on the expansion of the sheep flock. But yeah, otherwise that is looking good. You'll see vehicles haven't changed in a while there, nor don't have any other expenses with construction costs or anything like that. Everything's looking good. We're going to have to start servicing up some equipment once we get out the end of winter here before we get into the spring usage, but otherwise we're looking all right there. Again, we saw a nice little income in bales sales. We didn't see too much of an income stream from Farm 1 to bales sales, but we've done really well on that one. A nice consistent stream for the last 3 days. With still a few more to sell there as well. Milk again is a huge one. The main difference being Farm 2 we're able to really capitalize on Saturday. We only had a little bit of a sale there, but it's still pretty darn good. And otherwise, like I say, that we did very well from our harvest income, 311,000 on there. Biogas income hasn't been anywhere near as substantial, but it's still been pretty steady. We've still been ticking along. We've still got half a silage pit to go as well, so I'd expect to see that increase and as we continue through. So that's where the biggest surges come from, really, for Farm 1. You can really see them creeping up above us there by about, what are we looking at there? Around about £60,000 at the moment. And I think that gap's going to come down. We've made our investments for right now. Our next choice will be to see, what we're going to do from an expansion standpoint. And as I look at the map here, this is a great opportunity to show you kind of how we're doing. Farm 2 have more fields, I would say, but a smaller size field. So the area is probably very similar. This orange, by the way, is owned by Farm 3, so that we can't use the BGA there. Farm 1 have this area to grow into here, but also this is Pinewood Farm in the top corner. This is one of the areas we're likely to go into next. The boundary, like I always said, is this line here. They're following the river down there. It flows along here, around the town of Chellington, and across there. So these fields here are the furthest south that we can go, and then we'll be creeping up. The 62 does not belong to us either, so we'll be creeping up there. Field 5 and 14. So if we want to get into those ones, that's where we'll be heading to next. So our Farm 1 strategy is probably going to be just to look into increasing our herd size a bit further and identifying additional land options that make sense to us. We'll probably want to fill in some of these small pockets around here. Farm 2, as you can see, as we look from a field standpoint, Farm 2 have significantly more grass than we do. Grassland is a huge number of fields there, and it counts for an awful lot. we are probably going to see that they're going to keep filling those pits that they have there. Again, only one can go into the BGA. The others have to go into to be sold at a much lower price at the regular bale sell points there. So that's what they'll be looking into doing with their ground. They still do have quite a few large fields. You'll notice we are all pretty much all drilled up right now as well, which is really nice to see there. It does speed things along a little bit and makes us now we're all ready to go. All we'll be doing in the spring is fertilizer work and making sure the grassland's ready to go and lifting silage off there, which is really, really good to see. Farm 2 do have another yard to grow into as well. This one down here is a field that they'll be looking to go into very shortly, because you can have pigs there as well. I think it's a very underused yard, that one. There's some great potential down there. They do have a little bit more, probably a lot more opportunities for land acquisition actually, so if they wanted to, that would be a significant expenditure there. We have grown out a little bit more, like I say, but we've both got 1 yard to move into there, which should be good to see. And then we'll see how that one goes moving forward. From a crop standpoint, the last thing that Farm 1 have left to sell is going to be the soybeans. Everything else has gone. So we're not going to be able to see any more revenue coming through in the projections from that one. So our only other revenue that we'll see coming through here will be from anything generated from the livestock. Much like Farm 1, Farm 2 have nothing in here to go at all either. We've kept hold of some soybeans because we know we're going to need that for the TMR. Farm 2 though are all out. So, and again, anything they're going to be generating is going to be from a livestock only. And we'll see what that looks like moving forward there. So that's going to be interesting. I think one area that Farm 1 are really going to benefit from is the sheep. We have nearly 5 times the number of sheep there at the moment there, which should really stand us in good stead. Of course, Farm 2 only have 100 there, whereas we've got borderline, Farm 1 got borderline 500. So we should see a lot more wool coming through. Wool is obviously a great investment there that we can put into. So I think it's going to be great to see. Ultimately, 2 very, very finely run farms, I'd say. The margin between the 2 is very minimal. And I should think that's going to stay the same. It's going to ebb and flow as different times of the year produce different crop types, I'm sure. So expect to see a few different changes there as well. Right now, though, as Drew scoots off with another load, I'm going to get started on kind of taking down some of that muck heap and getting it into the BJ and getting processed through. And then once we've done that one, we'll get this pit all opened up there so we get cracking with that as well. We'll get to see a trickle of revenue coming through from this on the daily. We've got plenty of muck in the fields for fertilizer when we get onto the fields this springtime, and then we should hopefully see that continue. Let me know what you think we should both farms should do with their money now. We're both looking around the 1.5 million mark there. Be curious to know what you both think of what everyone thinks we should do on that front, and we'll see. But I do see that we're going to have a lot more investment to come. Now I know Farm 2, we're probably going to be looking into a few new bits of equipment. Farm 1, like I say, we've done that. We did that last year. We don't need to do any more updates for right about now. We've got the whole fleet that we need. Anyone new who does join in there after a certain period of time, you do get their own tractor. So that will be the only new purchases that we'll be making that we can potentially foresee. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. But all we can do is just keep working through the winter months here, selling everything that we can sell and seeing where it takes us. But for now, that was a little bit of a breakdown of which farm has done better. Unfortunately, unlike the single player game there, you can't quite get into see some of the statistics. So what I might well do is in a later edition here, kind of have a bit more of a breakdown of the statistics that we have across, in a bit more of a deep dive there. So which farm's using which, but I think I'm going to have to tap into the XMLs to see that one and find out. But for now, I hope you have enjoyed. Do let me know if you have any questions there. If you want to get involved with this one, you absolutely can. You just need to become a channel member to do so. Once you are one, hit me up on Discord and we'll see what we can do to make that all work for you. And otherwise, I do hope you have enjoyed. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, or feedback down below. I have been Simulation for the Nation, and we will see you all in the next one. Until then, do stay safe, enjoy what you're doing, and we'll catch you later.